Hello, my name is Tito Guillen, writer and director of Arkham Rising, and this is the special feature on special effects for Arkham Rising. Thanks everyone who's viewed the movie so far. It's been awesome to see the responses. We'll start off with the color grading test. Essentially, what we did was a mix between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. As you can see from this footage here, that was our raw, followed by the warm, which is more like Batman Begins with the sepia tones. The Dark Knight had a very cool crime drama look to it, which was essentially an homage to Heat, I believe. But Dark Knight Rises is a lot more gritty, a lot more washed out. So what we ended up doing is doing a mix of the both to basically pay homage to Batman Begins, where Arkham Asylum first appears, and to give it a look for The Dark Knight Rises. The next color grading test goes into basically our liquid latex, which was the first kind of smile test that we did for the Joker. We thought it was too red, too fresh and flesh toned, so we would end up changing that in favor of the rigid collodion that you'll see a little bit later on here. This is the motion text test, which was used for the Joker cell at the end. And essentially what we did was through After Effects, we just pinned the text to where we wanted it and just tweaked it until we got the animation the way we wanted it. Essentially, there were only a few papers on the wall, and we changed that later on. This is the BANE mask test. As you can tell, it was kind of a shitty Halloween mask that we used. But what we ended up doing was we had artist Mandy Esposel touch up the mask itself to look a little bit more solid in its color scheme, and we decided to change the angle into more of the from the front, so that we could use the depth of field for the prime lens, so that we could kind of hide it a little bit, and that kind of became a rule for the movie itself. We didn't want to show too much of these kind of iconic figures, so that people could associate more with the actors that originally played them, as opposed to our actors that would assume the roles. This here is a costume test which our producer Todsky standed in for. Essentially, he's wearing one of our prisoner inmate jumpsuits, and we're kind of setting up the whole Calendar Man reveal shot that we would later use in the movie. Here's kind of a comparison of what we did visually through After Effects for each of those two scenes. Our Joker there is Zachary Barrett, who would also be portrayed by Steve Reeve, who did the smile, which you see here. This, what Ashley, one of our production designers there, put on his face is what's known as rigid collodion. And what that is unlike liquid latex, which kind of is layered on and creates a scar tissue, rigid collodion kind of does the opposite, where it's alcohol based. So what it does is it kind of demoisturizes the area and makes it suck in, so that you have this kind of cool scar effect, where it looks like a scar that's healed over, and you've got the crevice there. You see that smile is a little bit too perfect, and we would later change that when we ended up doing it on set. But our final product ended up being a mixture of the rigid collodion with a little bit of liquid latex to give a little bit body. Steve actually has a scar at the top of his cheek there that we matched it up with, which ended up working pretty well. Right now he's drying his face using an air dryer, which his flexibility wasn't really there, so we had to kind of cheat the smirk a little bit at the end of the day. This was a test for of course, the Riddler sketchpad, which features some Batman villains that you don't see in the short, but are very relevant in the comics, like John Palmvalley, who assumed the role after Batman was broken, and Thomas Elliot, who would later become Hush. So kind of Batman copycats, as it were. Here we have Steve with the full smile on his face, which we didn't end up seeing in the movie, but it felt a little bit too clean, so we would go on to change it when we finally did the shoot at the location itself. Outside of that, I just wanted to thank everyone for their support so far. The reviews have been overwhelmingly positive. And we do have some ideas of where we want to go with this, but it all depends on the viewership. I mean, we have a little bit of a few benchmarks in mind, and if we reach those benchmarks, we will give some serious thought to proceeding with where we're going to go with this. We have a podcast. It's called YMM Podcast. You can find it at ymmpodcast.com. And I believe this week we're going to be releasing a podcast where we talk about the production in more detail, not just the special effects and stuff, and share some anecdotes about some of the trouble we got in while shooting. At any rate, please tune in, and thanks so much for your support so far, and I'll be releasing more stuff soon, hopefully.